Hello all of you beautiful people, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and this is the thing. With WWE 2K22 on the horizon, we are in a very interesting situation, because let's face it, the last couple of WWE 2K games have been, abysmal. And therefore, with the break that the developers have been taking to make this game better, we should be asking, nay, demanding more from this title. So let's take a look at some things that are burning their way through our wish list. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and this is the 10 things that fans demand from WWE 2K22. Number 10, a glitch-free experience. Oh, sorry, made myself laugh there just thinking about the abysmal amount of glitches and bugs that were present in the last couple of WWE 2K games, because they were, everywhere. It is vital that 2K release a finished product first and foremost. They need to playtest the hell out of this thing before anyone outside of 2K or Visual Concepts office even gets an eye on it. And the reason why they need to do this is obvious. You should not be releasing a broken product. And let's face it, tons of YouTubers, critics, and players out there have made an absolute killing slaughtering their previous games by detailing all of the ridiculous glitches and bugs. So there's a lot of attention on 2K22 to deliver, because people are going to be over-analysing, looking for bugs and glitches more than ever, and there are bound to be some early overreactions when the game first launches. So, if they're smart, everyone involved in making this thing will ensure that it is as watertight as possible. Number 9, consistent character models. So Brock Lesnar's character model looks utterly great in this image here, doesn't it? That stern facial expression, it's just spot on. His muscular torso shines under the right lights, and there's just an altogether polished sheen to him. Well, sadly, this was the exception rather than the rule in 2K20, because most of the models, they look like crap. 2K needs to start following another simple decree, namely, do not put characters in the game if they look a bit rubbish. I mean, seriously, doing that only brings the experience down, because most fans would rather have quality over quantity, especially when a good 50 to 80% of the models in 2K20 look like rubbery creator wrestler replicas. In fact, some of the creator wrestlers in the community creations over the past few years have actually looked better than what 2K and VC spewed out in their latest. If somebody like Otis or Angel Garza is going to look rotten because you're spending resource and time on bigger stars, then fortunately, it's probably better just to leave them out. Number 8, less pressure on pre-orders. So, 2K22 is not the time to be mucking around with tacked on extras. This game should be the apology from all concerned, not just another excuse to rinse already annoyed fans out of even more money. That's why 2K should ditch their tried and tested approach towards pre-order exclusives for this next entry in the series, because that would just be a bad idea. Hiding top stars behind a paywall, or worse, limiting sought-after characters to those who purchase the game from specific outlets would be yet another nightmare for this franchise. The same goes for those crummy DLC packs that they've been churning out for years now. Those need a complete rethink, so they actually seem worth it. Now, there's a difference between adding value to the experience and just stockpiling chunks of code so that gamers have to fork over for it later. Edge would have likely been 2K21's pre-order bonus, and he could still be used that way in 2K22. So please, 2K, don't do this to yourselves. Number 7, authentic presentation. Do you remember WWE's real-life audiences? Well, I can tell you that even though we've not seen them in a long old while, they definitely do not act like they do in-game. These cardboard cutout lookalikes leap around like idiots for absolutely everything that happens. Drew McIntyre hits a Claymore kick, they pop, Charlotte Flair locks in a submission, they jump around like they're going daft, Apollo Crews pauses to wipe his sweat, they act like it's the most entertaining thing ever. This clearly needs work, and so does the overall authenticity of 2K22's presentation. It's about time that this series got some bloody improvements to these elements, because in short, they suck. So fix this now. Number 6, another showcase. It's a shame that 2K20's catastrophe meant that more people didn't or couldn't play the women's wrestling journey that had been laid out in showcase mode. That is something that fans have yearned to see for years, but it was mired just in a sea of bugs and experience-breaking moments. So it's time for 2K to try again with 2K22. Showcase is a worthy addition to the game mode lineup, and it always has been. Come the next entry, it would be great to see a retrospective of The Undertaker or Edge. It'd be so good to play through the rated R superstar's career, including his 2020 return and 2021 Royal Rumble win. And failing that, 2K22 could always go off the deep end and focus more on the out there showcase for like Bray Wyatt's Fiend. 2K dabbled with the bizarre with their originals offshoots, and they'd likely enjoy doing some more of that for Wyatt's alter ego. Number 5, Here Come the Pain Speed. So of course this is a wrestling list to do with video games, so of course we're going to be talking about how brilliant Here Comes the Pain is. Even if you're not in the camp of thinking that this is one of the best wrestling games ever made, you simply cannot deny that Here Comes the Pain was miles better than anything the series has released over the past 5 years or more. It had superb gameplay that balanced speed and arcade vibes with slim touches that grounded everything all together. The control scheme was also flawless, and it will always completely baffle us that 2K meddled with it in favour of a more contextual mindfuckery that it has today. Doing anything you please during matches is a breeze in older titles like SmackDown Here Comes the Pain or Shut Your Mouth, and the same cannot be said in 2K19, 2K20 or any of the other recent entries. 2K22 would do well to revert back to that balance of before. Pro wrestling games used to be fun, but now they're not. They can be technically impressive at times or immersive, but fun? That's a word that 2K seems to have deleted from their vocabulary. Number 4, Co-op Season Mode. WWE games once did multiplayer oh so well, and that even extended into the retro titles like SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. And these co-op season modes, well, they were the glory days, people. So surely it wouldn't be too challenging for 2K to make something like this a reality in 2K22. Assuming they have a full-on WWE Superstar story suite, which they really should, there'd be no end to the fun, as pals could go for the gold together as a tag team or pick 2 single stars working on different brands. Technically, one could do this with mates in Universe mode, but it's not really the same. Seeing branching, properly voice-acted storylines play out instead of occasional mute cutscenes would be nice. 2K could even do this online if they fancy keeping things up to date, which would be a real godsend to the series. Number 3, create a story, but done well. WWE video games have never quite nailed the create a story mode. Some mega patient gamers have been able to craft worthy tales for sure, but those are few and far between. At its best, the system that's used is clunky and unintuitive. At its worst, it saps any zest out of those wanting to play a part of one of WWE's creative team and come up with their own angles. A proper story creation toolset is long overdue, and it's always felt like 2K are missing a trick here. Their community creations wing is home to some of the best creator wrestlers, title designs, arenas, and more. Adding top-notch stories that players can go through on top of this would be awesome. The key thing here would be striking a balance between easy to use and elaborate. Hopefully 2K and VC have had some staffers working day and night to make sure that the creator story gets the treatment that it has deserved for such a long time when 2K22 finally comes out later this year. Number 2, something new. 2K knew that they could just coast along with a similar product year on year until 2K20 came along and slapped everybody in the face. Now, if we're being honest here, that's why nothing really has changed for years, despite the fact that WWE Gaming has been crying out for something fresh. So now, this is the time. Updated reskins of a 20-year-old formula just aren't going to satisfy gamers anymore. Again, if we're being honest here, that's what 2K games had actually become. Their titles up to and including 2K20 were based on the same foundations built by THQ and Yuke's way back in WWF SmackDown on the PS1 in the year 2000. Now, it's not up to the fans buying these games to come up with something new for 2K. This is their product, and the onus is on them to provide freshness and show the way for the future of wrestling games. It's fine to borrow something old like the aforementioned gameplay of Here Comes the Pain, but graphics, presentation, and some modes in general just need an overhaul. And number 1, some sort of GM mode. Now, some gamers wet their pants with excitement when AEW announced that they were releasing a mobile game centered around sim management. That GM goodness has topped wish lists around the world since WWE's titles did away with the mode after SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, and everyone just wanted it back. Well, the good news is that 2K22 looks to deliver. It's silly to imagine that 2K22's GM mode will be exactly the same as the old one, though. 2K will obviously want to put their own spin on THQ's work and modernize some aspects of the feature. Now, that's fine provided that they maintain the same level of addictiveness that SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 had, and doesn't ruin the experience by shoving in microtransactions. Oh yes, friends, because they will think about doing that. A GM mode, basic or fully fleshed out, is essential in 2K22. This mode has become the holy grail of wrestling gaming, and that won't change until players are put in charge again. So there we go, my friends. That was the wish list of 10 things that we are demanding from 2K22. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, where I stream every single Wednesday and Sunday. As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome, and never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon.